So I'm joined today by Luke Upton, the Head of Communications at Local Giving. And thank you for joining us, and look forward to talking about and finding out all about Local Giving, what you do as an organisation and how it can benefit local community radio stations.
No, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me along today. Sorry I can't join you in person, but yeah, delighted to be able to talk to you today. I mean, we're all about community, local communities. So there's probably no better group of people to speak to than community radio professionals.
Excellent. So for those that may not have heard about Local Giving, what's it all about?
Yeah, thank you. So we are a UK-wide not-for-profit that specialises in online fundraising support and grant distribution. So we do this in a few different ways. We do it in two major ways, really. One is that we offer a fundraising platform that I know a number of your members have used. And secondly, we distribute grants for organizations such as National Grid. So we do two major things. But our focus really is on online fundraising. And we define that as any fundraising which is raised digitally. So we're about 12 or 13 years old, so sort of grown up a little bit with the digital revolution, and have supported our sort of members step by step along the way. So we've helped over 7,000 charities to raise over £40 million online. We were very busy during COVID, so raised over £5 million during COVID. And we've also distributed over £5 million worth of grants, from anything from £500 up to sort of £25,000. So how do we do this? If you look at your screen here, we've got a typical sort of online donation page. So you'll probably be familiar with this, hopefully through Local Giving, but if not, we have some other sort of fundraising platforms are out there. So you raise your money here, you tell your story, you talk about what you want the money for, and then you make it very easy for your supporters to give you some money. Why is this important? Well, the average online donation is double that of an offline donation. And about a quarter of the donations in the UK are now given online, but that number is going up kind of every year. So it's a hugely important area for any charity. And there's a couple of examples here that we can see. So a couple of radio stations that some of you will know that already work with us. So you can see a sort of screen here, and you can see what people are giving. So £10 for a CD, £30 for running a website for a quarter, £130 for a pair of studio headphones. And there's another one here, Newport, here in South Wales. You can see again what they're looking for. And then we also have Cambridge 105. So three different organisations that we work with. And I guess for your community, there's a couple of bits that I can point to that are, I guess, sort of set aside as a bit different to perhaps some of our other sort of competitors. We're dedicated to small community charities, so we don't work with Oxfam or Marie Curie or anything. We work with very small charities, and we know that very small charity organisations have their own sort of needs. So we're very mindful of supporting people on this sort of journey. But we don't only support charities. So if you're watching this thinking, "Oh, I'm not a registered charity, this is no use to me," we can still work with you. So we work with social enterprises, and we work with CICs. So even if you aren't a registered charity, you can still take advantage of our platform. And we also offer the opportunity to take advantage of gift aid. So again, if you aren't a registered charity, you might be thinking, "Oh, gift aid always looks good, but I can't use it." Well, because of the way we're set up, because we're a not-for-profit foundation, we can help you take advantage of that. So that's a real bonus. Obviously, it's a big chunk of money on top of all what people are already earning. So just to show you sort of very briefly, if you look on your left here, we've got an appeal page. So this is for a specific need with a specific target. So let's say, and again, I'm no radio expert. I like listening to it, but I don't know much about how it actually works. But if one of your stations wanted a sort of mixing deck or something, which I guess is something. Well, you tell me, Martin. What's an expensive thing that you guys
No,
need?
absolutely. So a brand new sort of studio mixer, or a new transmitter, or in the modern thing that we're working on at the moment, small scale DAB, a full SSDAB setup. So some sort of studio refurb. So some sort of you need £1, 2, 3, 4, £5,000 as an appeal target.
Yeah, so that would be the sort of appeal page that you can see here. So you talk about what you want and why it's important and what it does, and then along the top, then you have your bar, and people can donate, as little or as much as they want. So it's very kind of focused sort of thing, and our members can use these kind of however they want, whether they have an annual fundraiser or a particular item. I said we're very flexible. We work with with these organizations and match their needs. And obviously things come up unexpectedly. There are floods and there are fires and there are things like that. So we're quite responsive to that. And then on the right, then you'll see something called a fundraiser page. So that's your supporters doing things to help you. So, I mean, the classic example here would be the London Marathon, as you can see, but all kinds of things. And again, the money can be big. It could be £10,000 or it could be £50. And because of who we deal with, we understand that £50 can be incredibly important to sort of smaller organizations. So we offer that sort of flexibility for people to help as they want. And then we also have just cycling on here. So this is just a page about what it looks like when a member kind of logs into their account, kind of the back end, all very straightforward. You can see who's giving, you can thank them, you can see about grants. I'll get onto that in a moment. And you can edit your page as well. We keep it all very simple. As I said, we work with sort of small to medium groups, mainly staffed by volunteers, which I guess most of your network are. So we don't make things difficult, and we appreciate people are doing these things on their lunch breaks, at night, Sunday afternoon, etc. So we offer a lot of support in that, in that front. We understand that there isn't a professional designer or a professional fundraiser likely attached to any of our organizations. And then just moving forward quickly. So kind of, again, I can happy for you, Martin, to share these slides afterwards, but these are some of the things that we sort of recommend doing if you're fundraising online. So starting do your page, link from your social media and a website, do a thank you message, decide what you'd like to fundraise for first. And again, because you control the platform, we can tweak it as you go along as well. So perhaps if some of the messaging isn't quite landing as you'd hoped, or maybe something changes in the campaign, you can just log in and change it sort of straight away. And then going on to the second bit here, so we do grants. So something that I guess most charitable organizations are familiar with, obviously very important. So we distribute a number of different grants sort of through the year for different people. So we do an annual one for National Grid. We've done work with the DCMS government. We've done Fair Share. And this is something we do every year. So this is Magic Little Grants. So it's with People's Postcode Lottery. And again, I think a few of the members have kind of successfully applied for this before. So it's £500. It's a fairly sort of straightforward process to apply. We don't ask lots and lots of questions. Different to previous years as well. Whilst I'd encourage you to become a member, and I'll get to a little offer later on because it offers a lot of different benefits. You do not have to be a member to apply for this year's Magic Little Grants. So if you go to the website on the page there's all about it, and there's a process to click through. But it's very simple. You've got to be either in your first year of operation or have an annual income under £250,000, which I suspect most of you guys would be under that. It can be used to launch sort of new projects if you've got new things coming on, but it can also be just to cover core costs. So if the cost of heating, lighting, electricity, what have you, it can be used for that. I know some grants, they have to be tied to particular things. We don't really like that very much, especially with, cost of living. It's all well and good having major projects, but if you can't keep the core going, it's not much use. And they have to be in England, Scotland, and Wales as well. If you applied last year successfully or not, You can apply again this year. The slate is wiped clean. And yeah, applications opened on the 1st of March. So your members would match some of our criteria. Again, if you look on the webpage, there's quite a bit about it, but there's two areas of criteria. One being enabling participation in the arts. And I spoke to my colleague, who is the manager of the grant here, and just said, "Oh, I'm talking to the UK Community Radio Network later on. Just double checking this is good for them." And yes, it's good for you. You make it clear that it's, radio is a sort of cultural broadcast aspect, and that's fine. And there's also in there, one of the bullet points would also be improving support to mental health. So again, I know a few of your stations work directly with people there, but I think there's also obviously a mental health aspect to listening to the radio and sort of, not feeling as lonely and feeling more connected to the community. So I think there's two ways. There's about 8 different criteria. Some of them are like sport, some of them like environment, but there's 2 of the 8 that I think apply to you guys. So yeah, really welcome your applications. It's a very popular grant. So I would encourage you to apply soon. It's open to the end of the year, but we do kind of assessments every 6 weeks. So yeah, I'd encourage you to do it. It does only take 20 minutes. So yeah, it's well worth, sitting down next week one day and just doing it. And then the money's with you quickly as well. So it's a nice, very useful thing. And then just one final bit on my slides here. So normally, to be a member, costs £180. So that enables you to set up your page, to take advantage of our gift aid, to use our back end platform, to more easily apply for grants as well. So it's normally costs £180 for a year. It's a flat fee. That's it. But we've got a discount for you folks to make it £90 for the year. So that's delighted to be able to offer that. So you can see a promo code there. So if you just go to join.localgiving.org, use the promo code radio50, and do it by the end of April. So it's that 5-6 weeks from now. You'll get that automatically applied. So yeah, that's kind of who we are. And I think, we kind of pride ourselves on a bit of a personal touch. We have a help team who are real people. They're not chatbots or anything like that. We answer everything. We help people. We like I said, we understand that we do work with small charities. We work with people who are volunteering. People are doing charity work alongside their day job. And so we aim to kind of reflect that. We aim to make everything very simple, very transparent, and very straightforward. And yeah, it's a privilege to sort of work with local giving and to sort of learn about this, how many different charities we help and the difference that our sort of grant givers are able to make and the stories that we get from it. So yeah, I mean, I'm delighted to be able to sort of give you a whistle stop tour of it. I hope that's been kind of interesting. I mean, Martin, are you gonna any sort of questions?
No, I was going to expand upon from my experience. I know a couple of radio stations that use local giving, but not just for those one-off donations that via the platform portal. But I know a number of community radio stations that use local giving for regular donation. So whether it be from the members of their own team, there are some community stations where they either sort of have some sort of membership scheme or some sort of regular donation scheme from their own volunteers and members, or to the wider public, asking them to donate on a regular basis. And from my experience, local giving, it's a really easy platform to set up on the standing orders and for that regular giving as well as those one-off giving. The fees, I don't know if you know the fees off the top of your head, but from my experience, the fees are quite low as well. Correct me if I am wrong on this, but from what I understand, with the gift aid element, actually, if the gift aid is being claimed, most of the fees are pulled out of the extra on top. So in theory, a £10 donation plus gift aid normally ends up still being more than £10, even once fees are taken out.
Yes, that's right. I mean, we make our money. Distributing grants, we get a fee for that, for doing that work for a corporate client. But when it comes to this sort of thing, we have a membership which kind of covers some of our costs, and then we do invite some people donating to give a tip as well to us. So, you don't lose a chunk of the cash kind of at the end of the process. And yeah, as I think I touched upon earlier on with Gift Aid, because we are not for profit, because we have a charitable foundation, the gift aid goes through that and comes back out to you. So it's a slightly complicated process, but it's been working for years. And it means, as I said, if you aren't registered with the Charity Commission, you can still take advantage of gift aid, which is a good chunk on top of your your earnings every year, which you're missing out on at the moment. So it's a nice kind of bonus, and no one else really offers that. And just on that, if you aren't a registered charity, if you are a sort of a CIC or community group, there's a couple of steps to kind of validate you, but nothing very heavy. It's bank statements, and it's a little bit about the charity just to prove who you are, but nothing too deep. And again, it's done quickly. And then once you're validated with us, then you're away, basically. But yeah, we want as many people to join as we can, and we want to make it as as simple and as straightforward as possible. And we're actually working very hard at the moment on the website and changing some of these processes just to make it even easier for you guys who'll be collecting the money, but probably even more importantly for your supporters to log in and just to see where the money goes and how it goes through. But yeah, it's we'd welcome working with some of you guys. I mean, you can see my email address is there, and then the help address is there. So any questions afterwards, I'll send through to Martin a little bit more about perhaps the offer that perhaps you can sort of circulate. But yeah, really delighted to be a part of the day. Sorry, I can't join you in Northampton, but it's great to be able to have a chat with you. And yeah, I mean, that's probably us. I don't know if there's anything else from you, Martin.
No, that's about it, I think. I mean, I do really recommend local giving as a platform, which is why I reached out to you to see if we could get you involved with the UK Community Radio Network, both promoting who you are, through this presentation, but also with some sort of offer and deal for stations that are involved with us. I've known about local giving platform for over 10 years when I first got introduced to it, and it was actually the gift aid element that I was first introduced to it. Even if you're not a charity, and that's when I speak to stations, they go, yeah, but we're not charity, so we can't get gift aid. They go, well, no, because local giving is that charitable foundation, they can access the gift aid on your behalf because the donation is sort of technically through you guys, and that's, to me, one of the best opportunities for community radio to be accessing gift aid through donations. And because you do it as a portal, and because without necessarily talking down any other platforms, I think the fees are lowest, if not comparably very low, to other platforms, and other platforms where you can't necessarily get that gift aid on top. So to me, it's a great platform for one-off donations. Like I said, those regular giving donations, the appeals and the campaigns, I think is relatively newish in the last few years. And then the grants on top. So you as an organisation, I think being involved makes a lot of sense for community radio stations. And like I said, I do encourage it. And Luke, I thank you ever so much for taking the time out to do this presentation.
No worries. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. And yeah, hopefully one of the team can join you in person next year. So thank you very much for the time.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.